How to make £1,450 net profit from one single property. If you'd like to know how to make £1,450 in one single property with only £60,000 investment, this video is for you. Hey guys, it's Rahim. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, smash the subscribe button because I talk about property investment, personal development, and how to gain financial freedom. For those who don't know me, I started my property investment journey just over 7 years ago. I was working as an accountant. I hated it. It wasn't fulfilling to me. I decided to take my leap of faith to start my property investment journey. I started by renting properties from landlords and subsequently rent them out on a room by room basis and on a nightly basis. The profit I made from those properties I used to buy my own investment properties, and I was able to build that to a multi-million pound property investment portfolio. I now have my estate agency, my renovation company, and I help people like yourself to use property as a vehicle to make recurring income using my tried and tested method. So I earn the right to show you how to make £1,450 from one single house with only an investment of £60,000. In order for you to achieve £1,450 in an investment properties or in whatever you do, is by having that vision, having that mission, and backing that up with a goal. You see, in order for you to get to wherever you want to get to, you have to have a goal, a destination to where you want to go. So suppose that your destination is achieving £1,450 per single property. You have to set that goal, aren't you? Because if you don't set the goal, you won't get it. Because once you set that goal doesn't allow you to move from where you are to the destination. See that goal as your sat nav, right? Or the roadmap to take you from where you are to where you want to go. Suppose you want to travel from Cardiff to Birmingham. Obviously, you have to have a goal in mind first. I want to go to Birmingham. So once you've got that goal, then obviously the sat nav then is what you use to get you to your destination. That becomes the tool. So in our example, the tool will be the laptop, the platforms where we're going to be going to look for these deals and all that sort of thing. So in this video, I'm going to share with you step by step a guide on how to acquire a property that will generate you that £1,450 per calendar month. So obviously now you've got that goal of achieving what you set yourself to achieve. You define that goal and you decide on the roadmap to take you to your destination, which will mean looking for properties that would give you that sort of return. So let's jump onto the computer. Let's go out there and look for properties that will give us return on our investment. But what I want to be looking at today is Manchester, because I've heard Manchester is getting really good attention right now to investors, and investors are looking in Manchester drastically. Let's see if there's anything in Manchester that we can take advantage of. Let's get to it. Okay, I like to use the platform rightmove.co.uk because it's got 90% of the property market. So let's jump onto that and see. So what we're now going to do, we're going to go to our search here. Okay, we have our search here. We're going to type Manchester here. Greater Manchester. Let's see what we've got in Manchester. So we're going to scroll there. We're looking for a minimum of £50,000. So why do I look for £50,000 property? I look for £50,000 property because that sort of property is a property that I usually will be able to add value to. Anything lower than that I don't like to look at because obviously it may attract different sort of tenants even if you do the property up. So I like to have my bracket at £170,000. This is my sweet spot basically. So I want to do minimum of 3-bedroom houses because obviously I want to be able to have lifers in my properties instead of someone that's staying for a couple of years and they've gone. So I do minimum of 3-bedroom, and I'm going to choose houses because I love houses, because houses you can manipulate how big the house is going to be in the future. So that's the reason why I love houses. So this then takes us to our search page. We've got about 38 properties in this list because obviously we've narrowed our search down. So what I like to do is to go and filter it lowest first, because obviously I want to look for undervalued properties that I can use, maybe add a bit of value in order for me to be able to get my return on investment. Especially I know I've only got £60,000. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna go down here, look for properties that we can do a bit of work in. Now nowadays, right now I've done it really well. You don't have to look at all the property. You can have a snapshot of what the property look like here. Okay, you've got these properties there. All this not a lot of value to be added there. They keep going. This one also is kind of okay, but it's a terrace house. I like my bay windows, to be honest with you, and we're gonna keep looking. That one there, they say £150,000. So we're gonna look at that property. We see what potential we can get out of this one. Okay, so we can see here the floor plans. We got the bedroom 1, bedroom 2, bedroom 3 upstairs, and a bathroom. Good. I love that. That lends itself nicely, meaning I'm not going to do any structural works upstairs. Okay. Going downstairs, we have 2 rooms. We have one as a lounge, one as a dining room. Obviously, we've got a bathroom. I think that's a misdescription. That might be the kitchen. Okay. So potential 5 bedrooms here. So we know we've only got £60,000. So we need to be careful with the initial with our investment here. So what I could do if I was to get this property, by the look of it, there is a storage underneath the stairs and there's a door there. So this is where I'm going to have my WC, my other toilet downstairs. Okay. So what I would also do is to extend the kitchen slightly by bringing it somewhere here. Look at my cursor, bringing it somewhere here. Actually, let me just take a snippet with that quickly so I can draw that line for you so you can see it properly. If I do this here, let me just take a snapshot of this. Okay, so suppose then we've got it here. Okay, so what I will do, currently we have everything here. Okay, so I will move that here, right? The reason why I move it here, sorry, my line is not that straight, okay, is to extend this kitchen slightly, because I want this to become a kitchen dining area. Because if it becomes a kitchen dining area and it's big enough to become a kitchen dining area, it gives me then 5 bedrooms. So we have our 3 bedrooms upstairs. This would be number 4, right? And that one will be number 5. So that then gives us 5 bedrooms. Okay, so we know there's a potential on that. So obviously then what we then do next, we look at how far the property is from every single thing. Go here, very close to train station. This is beautiful, and you can easily get to Manchester, obviously, because it's in Manchester and the train stations are very, very close by. So they're looking for £150,000. So obviously, as an investor, you're not going to buy that property for £150,000. Okay, let's assume that you know what you're doing. Basically, you can go and negotiate on that property. Let's say we secure that property for £135,000. Let's write that property value down for £135,000. So that's what we're going to do. But what I want to do, I want to know how much are we likely to be able to add value to this property, and how much likely that property would come back at in our valuation. So the next thing we want to do basically is to go here on the sold house prices. So we're going to do the next same thing again. We're going to look at Manchester to see what the average house price in Manchester. We're going to click on that. We look at it here. We read 300,000 average house price there. Semi-detached houses are going for 332,000, and terrace house is going for £250,000. Well, £251,418 to be precise. But that's not the case. So in our case, we're gonna go and add value to that property, hoping that it would go up by, say, worst case scenario, £250,000. Not 102, no, not 251 or £55,000. Let's go with that figure for now. Okay, let's go with that figure now. Let's say come back at £250,000. You're gonna write that figure down. Okay, so what we're now going to do is to analyze the property to see whether we've got enough money to go and add those 2 extra bedrooms. Because in essence, we're only adding 2 bedrooms. We're not even adding the bedrooms. The rooms are already there. We just taking one of the stud walls out to extend the kitchen slightly so we can have it to become a kitchen diner, and obviously adding a WC underneath the stairs. So not a major refurbishment, so to speak. So suppose you buy that property at £135,000. Okay, at £135,000, obviously we need to put down 25% deposit. That gives you £33,750 that you need to use out of our investment. So that then leaves us with a budget of, we got 60,000 minus that amount. That gives us a budget of £26,250. In essence, that £26,250 is what we need to use to be able to get the property done. Basically, we have to use that as our budget. Don't go over it. We have to be sitting actual amount or below that amount. So it is doable because we're not doing loads of work. We're not doing structural issues. We're not moving a structural wall. We're only taking a stud wall out, increase it, bring it back a lot slightly, do another stud, end off, and then obviously upgrade the wiring and all the plumbing bit. So that £26,000 is kind of okay with that sort of property. So now we know we've got the £60,000, okay? But then maybe think about interest and all that. I'm only doing this for you to see the simplicity of it. I don't want to complicate it, but just looking at how much it would be costing us, not thinking about interest and all that sort of thing. And this sort of work will take you about 3 to 8 weeks. Okay, so that's done there. So the next thing now we want to know is obviously how much we may be able to rent this property. But here's the thing we're going to do with this property. We're not going to rent it to a family. We're going to rent it as a HMO property. What is HMO? Is house in multiple occupation, meaning we're going to be renting the property on a room by room basis instead of renting it to a whole family. So what we're now going to do, we're going to go and check how much we may be able to rent that property out. So moving on here. Okay, so we're gonna go here now. We're gonna go to a platform called Spare Room. Okay, Spare Room. We hit Spare Room. Obviously that then comes up there. We then want to search in Manchester because obviously we are in Manchester and we want to know what the average room rate. Okay, we go to Manchester here. Okay, we go to Greater Manchester. We click on that. We hit search. And then this thing brings us all the properties that are available in Manchester to rent. And obviously we want to look for how much you may be able to rent a room in Manchester. Okay, so we're going to scroll down. Okay, that one is going for £600. 730, 679. Okay, that's female only. 595, 850, 700, 6 to 650. So now we know we may be able to rent our property for minimum of £600. Okay, we're not going to go too high because there's 650, 700. Let's go for just £600. So if we go for just £600 here, okay, we're going to put it here. We know we're going to have 5 bedrooms. Okay, so it's going to be £600 times 5 bedrooms, and assuming that the property came back at 250,000, 251,000 or 55,000, let's just say 250,000 pounds, right? And then we have our mortgage to pay, right? And then that would be 75% of whatever the bank lenders. Let's say now we've estimated that property to come up at 250,000 pounds fair market value after we've done all that work, not 251 or 52 or 55, just 250,000 pounds. So if we come up 250,000 pounds, so how much interest would we be paying? 250,000 pounds times 75%, which is what the bank will lend us. Okay, 75% of the 250,000 pounds. We times that by our interest. I mean, again, I'm overestimating the interest because interest is usually, for now, based as of this video, is about 3 to 4%. So let's just estimate to be 5%, and then obviously we're going to divide that by 12 months. That gives us a monthly interest payment of £781.25. Because it's going to be a HMO, obviously we'll be paying the bills, council tax, water rate, TV, cleaning and all that sort of thing. I'm going to estimate that to be £750 as well. So with that, then that gives us a total expense of £1,531 monthly. So if you minus your £1,531 from your £3,000, that property will generate you £1,468.75, just shy. So if you minus all that expenses, that property generates you £1,468.75 per calendar month. Well, I said 1,450. Well, as you can see, it's slightly over that amount. So per month from one single investment from one property, and also every single month. So if you times that by 12, you're talking about an annual rental income of £17,625. Hello, from £60,000 investment. So now tell me, which investment are you gonna make that would give you £17,625 every single year with £60,000 investment? Let's get that sink in a little bit. I'm not saying it's not out there, but there's not lots of it, right? Quite frankly, I have not seen it. Okay, it has to be property. It has to be property. It has to be HMO property. It has to be something with property, not dividend, not selling cryptos and all that sort of thing, gambling away. No, but that's what it gets. And believe me or not, once you've done that, it's a kind of a guaranteed income as well. It's guaranteed because here's the thing: tenant move in, you reference them nicely, and then guess what? You get that money to be paid to your account every single month. £17,625 every year. So what would be your yield in this investment? So your yield would have been your annual income divided by we've bought the property for £135,000. We invested £135,000 plus £60,000 we've invested. So that would have given us £195,000. So if you divide £195,000 by that amount, that gives us 9% return on our investment. Way more than average in Manchester. Manchester is currently doing 6 to 6.5% annually. So you are at 9% return on your investment. Hello? That is a massive return on your investment. So now you've done that, you know you're making that money, but before you get your tenant in, you need to be doing the following things, because here's the thing: you want to make sure that £17,625 is guaranteed income. How do you do that? Is to ensure we do a thorough, I repeat, a thorough referencing check to ensure anybody who moved into our property is fully referenced, background reference, employment reference, credit reference, guarantors, to ensure that if they mess about with the rent, you got to their guarantor to go after, so that then bulletproof ring-fence your income to ensure you got that £17,625 every single month. There you have it. That's how you make £1,450 every single month in one single property. Imagine making £17,625 every single year whilst still having the property. And imagine if you were to be able to pull some of our initial investment out, we can go again buy the same property, similar property. You then duplicate the whole process. By the time you think about you're in a third or fourth property, you're talking about £60,000 to £70,000 a year. That's what made me a property millionaire. That's what made my investors and I property millionaires. If you like what I've shared with you, there's a link in the description below. Click on that link to book one of my specialists for a free, no obligation consultation to learn how we may be able to help you to implement strategies like that to make money work a lot harder for you instead of you working for it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video or any of my videos, smash the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. I look forward to sharing the next one. Thank you.